Vicky Stockton is a music teacher at the New York State School for the Deaf in Rome. Recently nominated for a National Grammy Award. It's a National Grammy Award finalist, is what it is.
Yeah, it's for It's basically for music educators.
Pretty awesome.
There's been 10 teachers from 10 cities across 8 states
that have been nominated.
As finalists.
And Vicky is one of them. Good morning, Vicky Stockton.
Good morning, fellas. How are you?
Wonderful. Congratulations. And
Thank you so much.
So tell us how this happened. Is it something you had to apply for? What happened here?
Well, it seems this whole process can go either through nomination or through a self-application. I had been nominated for a couple of years, and they don't tell you who your nominator is. You are then contacted by the Grammy Foundation, and they send you all sorts of papers you have to complete and videos you have to submit, interviews that are done. And we don't have a television. I do listen to you folks on the radio, but we don't have a television. But what I heard from, there had been a release on the television about this, that there were 2,300 nominees, I believe.
Yeah.
And then there was a reduction down to 1,000, and that was when I had been notified. And then it was reduced to 250, which was a very nice surprise as a quarterfinalist, I believe.
And you're still in, yeah.
And then it was reduced to 25, which was a much bigger surprise, and I was honored and happy to be there. And then suddenly there was this magic number of 10.
Wow.
And that's where things stand at the moment. So
now, what ends up, do you get down to a certain number where they say, all right, you finalists are going to, because I know they do certain events leading up to the Grammys where they give out some awards. Do you have any idea how that works? Do you wait till the top 3 and then they do the announcement on Grammy night, or will you find out beforehand?
I don't know much more than you know at this moment.
Sure.
We're in the 10, and I would imagine it goes from 10 to 1. That's my understanding.
Got it.
And I believe that whoever that one is has probably been notified by now, I would think, because I believe only one is involved in the actual events of the Grammy week.
Okay, understood. And
I'm honored to be in the 10. This is amazing.
That's incredible. When are the Grammys, by the way? It's got to be coming up very soon, right?
Sometime in January?
Sometime in January. I know it's award season. The Golden Globes, I think, are this weekend. All right, well, listen, the fact that you're in the top 10 that's got to be such a compliment. And tell us about what you do with students. So being a music teacher at the School for the Deaf, that is perplexing for some. Why don't you explain what you're able to accomplish there?
Well, I teach music the same way to deaf children as I do to hearing children. Deaf children just takes a little longer to come in because they don't hear so well, and they haven't heard coming into music. You know, when you took your first trumpet lesson or your kids took their first lesson and they blah, 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 blah. Okay, Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yeah.
When our children play those same 3 notes and they sound just as peculiar as a beginner, it's, that's Mary Had a Little Lamb? Okay. So our children have music from the time they enter school, 3 years of age through 21. We offer a full music program. We have general music, classical music, instrumental music. We have a band program, flute, clarinet, sax, trumpet, trombone, the whole 9 yards. We have a handbell choir, a sign choir. I do music therapy with some of our more involved children, but I do stress that I'm a music educator. And I don't feel so much that I'm that important, but the work that I do I feel is important.
Yeah.
Because music is everywhere, and music is invisible, if you will. The effects of music, we hear it, but you don't see it per se. Much as deafness is invisible. We don't know who's deaf and who's not.
Right.
And music is such a big part of our world. If I could have an opportunity to make the connection with a big part of our population, about 1% of the population has some hearing loss, and connect music, which is such a big part of life, to a big part of our population, I think that's a great honor.
Yeah, that's awesome. It really is.
So, Vicky, it's even if you're not named as the top honoree or whatever, you're still going to get some grant money for the school, which is pretty cool. Is that right?
Exactly. There's $1,000 that goes to the school, and $1,000 that comes to me, which was a surprise.
Wow.
And I hope to use that money to fix our piano. We have a piano that's been in great need of repair, and that's my goal. Fix the piano and then fix the handbells.
That is pretty awesome. And Vicky, could you tell me, when you're talking about music with children who are deaf, is it hearing impaired? What about a student who is completely deaf, can hear absolutely nothing? Is it vibrations? How does that work?
It's interesting you ask. I've had children who were born with no cochlea. That's the organ of hearing inside the brain.
Yeah.
And so these children, you can't put a hearing aid on them. It's not going to help them. I had one. I believe musicality is inherent in all of us to varying degrees. You know, you have your shower singers and your street singers and your stage singers. And with deaf children, it's the same thing. That inherent musical ability of varying levels is in every one of our deaf children as well. So I've had children without cochleas who play trombone, percussion, and the bell choir. They just have a love and an innate interest in music and ability for music. So it really doesn't matter the hearing loss. I used to think our hard of hearing kids would do better than our profoundly deaf kids, and that is not true at all.
Wow,
but if you look at a swath of hearing people, you have the people who are really into music, the people who could take it or leave it, and the few people who go, not for me.
Yeah.
Same thing with deaf kids.
I will say that, first of all, Fred Tallarico, Hula Hoop Fred, says hello. He's listening. And says he really thinks the world of you. And what was the movie with Richard Dreyfuss where his son ended up? He was a music teacher, and his son ended up.
Mr. Holland's Opus.
That was a great, great movie.
Okay. It was a great movie. Yeah, it was, right.
Very inspirational. So, well, you're an inspiration, Vicky, and we thank you so much and congratulate you on this Grammy nomination. Pretty awesome.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you calling, and all the best, guys. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. I believe they're closed today, right? So.
Yeah, she said she doesn't believe that there's going to be students there, but she said that, what did she say? She's like, they never close, basically.
They never close.
Said,
Rome School for the Deaf.
Yeah, right.